I learned early that love in my family wasn't given freely, that it was earned, tracked, and quietly expected. I was 23 when I started working 2 jobs. Days at a greasy garage, nights at a gas station off Burnside. Most mornings, I smelled like oil and burnt coffee before the sun even rose. That I told myself it was temporary. That exhaustion meant progress. That every hour I worked was building something bigger than me. And why, Sister Maddie, was that something? She was the golden child, the smart one, the future everyone bragged about. When she got into college, the house filled with celebration, like she'd save the world. Mom cried happy tears on the phone and said, "You'll help her, right?" It wasn't a question. IT never was a T. First, it felt good. Paying her tuition, buying textbooks, covering rent. She sent a thank you text once. Said you're the best since that. I reread it so many times, it became proof I mattered. But gratitude fades when entitlement grows. She stopped asking. She started sending bills. Tuitions due. Y card declined at electric slate. Every message sounded less like need, and more like command that I skip meals. So her light stayed on. She posted rooftop dinners and designer bags captioned, "Hard work pays off too." I'll laugh. The kind that hurts. Miguel at the garage saw it first. He told me I was breaking my back for someone breaking my spirit. I defended her. She's my sister. He just nodded and said, "Exactly." That night, I opened her latest rent notice. The amount was more than my paycheck. That him, why stomach twisted. I wire the money anyway. Because good sisters hold the line until it breaks them. And something in me was already cracking. The emergencies never ended. They just changed names, new laptop, car insurance, extra grocery money. Each request wrapped in fake sweetness that I wanted to believe. She struggled, but every lie were designer labels on Instagram, cocktails, weekend getaways. Manifesting abundance that I stayed quiet. That I was raised to keep peace, not start fires, but peace can suffocate. Miguel noticed my exhaustion before I did. He said, "Some people only love you while you're useful." That sentence followed me everywhere. Then Mom called. "Maddie says you've been short with her." "Short?" I repeated. "I'm paying her rent." Mom sharpened instantly. "She needs you. You should be proud." Guilt still worked on me. Then Maddie called about Paris. "Study abroad, that once in a lifetime, that you'll handle payments right." I told her I was barely surviving. She laughed. "It's not like you have other expenses. You don't even travel." That was the moment I stared at my grease-stained hands and hated them. Not because they were dirty, but because they built a life she looked down on. I didn't know it yet, but that call ended everything. The family dinner came days later that I almost skipped. Miguel warned me, but guilt always beats instinct. The house smelled expensive. Maddie glowed with confidence, borrowed from my exhaustion. She hugged me for show. Dinner stayed polite until Mom asked if I'd help Maddie again. That I suggested she get a job. That's when Maddie smiled and said it. "Maybe if you worked harder, you wouldn't be stuck." The silence cut deeper than shouting. That I saw them then, not my family, but an audience comfortable with my humiliation. That I stood calmly to "Dinner's on me tonight." I said, "It's the last thing I'll ever pay for." I didn't scream. That I drove home replaying every look, every silence. Their comfort mattered more than my dignity. And my kitchen counter was buried under her envelopes, rent, tuition, utilities. Years of proof that I tore them one by one. The sound was sharp, final, free. For the first time I felt done. 3 days passed before Maddie called. That I ignored every ring, every text. The time I answered, "Why?" She was frantic. "Why didn't you pay the rent?" "Because it isn't my rent. You can't just. You'd better learn to pack." She called me cruel. That I called it Mom finished. Followed angry. "Guilting family doesn't mean indentured servitude." She went quiet. Then Maddie showed up at my door. Mascara streaked, panic visible. "You can't cut me off that. I already did that. Family. You're supposed to." That I did for years. "You just never noticed," she threatened me. That I closed the door and slept better than I had in years. She went public, vague posts. Betrayal stories, that a GoFundMe that I laughed until it hurt. People began seeing through it. Mom begged one last time, but I said no. Then her landlord called. She'd listed me as emergency payer, that I declined politely. That night, Maddie texted, "You ruined my life." That I replied, "I just stopped financing it." Then I blocked her. Entitlement doesn't die quietly. 2 weeks later, Mom called again. Maddie had maxed our credit card in their name. That I almost felt sorry. You fed someone who only takes. This is what happens, that I chose peace over guilt. A family gathering followed. Aunt Teresa urged me to speak. The room fell silent when I entered. Maddie looked smaller now. Mom tried calm that I refused pretense that I told them everything. Every payment, every sacrifice, every luxury funded by my overtime. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Maddie called me a liar. I placed the receipts on the table. The room went still. Paper whispered truth. She looked drained. You ruined me. No, you did. I told them they taught her to take without giving. Don't act surprised. She took too much. Then I left. The air outside felt clean. That a month passed. Maddie was evicted back at my parents' house. The silence from them said everything. Miguel asked if I talked to them again. That I already did. They didn't listen. That I looked at my hands again. Still rough, but finally mine. I didn't want to fight. That I walked away from one I never should have fought. Family isn't sacrifice without limits. It's responsibility. Some will call you selfish. When you stop bleeding for them, let them pieces louder. I mistook sacrifice for love. Setting boundaries taught me otherwise. Maddie still blames me. That am why parents say I changed. Maybe I did this time. I chose myself. If you've ever been the one holding everything together, while they drained you, I see you. The moment you let go changes everything.